Hey friends, welcome back to Ball Homestead. Today we are going to make some homemade pasta and some homemade garlic knots. And we're going to use some of our free grass-fed beef that we got from Fetch the other day and some of our homemade pasta sauce. So let's get started. All right friends, we're going to start out with our pasta because I like to let my dough set just a little bit before I roll it or start rolling my pasta out. So we're going to get going with that. We need 2 cups of flour, and we're using all-purpose flour. I'll have to refill my flour soon. And 2. And we're going to need a tablespoon of salt. Pasta is super easy to make. Super easy. I did not know how easy it was until I started making it. And 3 eggs. We're going to mix that together real quick. That salt in there. And now we're going to add our eggs, one at a time. All we use is farm fresh eggs, which we have a bunch of chickens. I just turn it on and add my eggs. Well, let's see. Sometimes you'll need to add like a tablespoon or 2 of water, and we are today. So let's get that real quick. All right, that right there is what we wanted. We wanted it to kind of come to a ball there together. Perfect consistency. That's what we wanted. And we're just going to put this in a ball, form it really good, and let it set and rest for a bit. So I don't make such a mess. I'm going to put just a tiny bit of flour on this. So we're going to work it around just a bit, and then we're going to let it set. My husband loves homemade pasta. It is delicious, though. There's nothing quite as yummy as a fresh noodle. Just going to kind of make it into a ball. And then we're just going to let it set for a bit. Thought I'd get these started before I went and done my feeding and stuff so that the rolls could start rising and the noodles could do their thing. All right, friends, now we're going to get going on our garlic knots. We need 1 1/3 cup of warm water. So here is 1 cup. And here is 1/3. Now we need 2 1/2 teaspoons of dry active yeast. I buy my yeast in bulk from Sam's Club. And we're going to kind of mix that together. Okay. Now we need salt and sugar. It's like a tablespoon of salt. or sugar, and a teaspoon of salt, I think. Let me look at my recipe here. A teaspoon of salt, yeah. Throw that in and mix that all together. 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay. Have to get that thing off eventually, but for now it'll be fine. Okay. Now our flour. First, we need a 1/2 of a teaspoon of garlic powder in this too. Okay, we're going to go with that. Now our flour. Right, now we need 3 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour. 1, 2, 3 1/2. We're going to mix all that together on low. All right, our dough came to a nice ball. Now we're just going to knead it just a little bit, and we're going to let it rise. That's why I wanted to kind of get all this started before I went and did my feeding, so that it'd be ready whenever we got done, maybe. Or we can get started anyways. It smells amazing with that garlic in it. You can really smell that. Okay. Let's get this bowl over here out of the way and get a little bit more flour. I'm going to have to refill my big flour vat in there. I've already got another bag, but I just hadn't done it yet. We're just going to give this a little knead, nothing major. I'm just going to knead it for just a minute, and then we're going to put it in an oiled bowl and cover it and let it set for a while. Okay. All right. Let's get a bowl and oil it up. We're going to just save our silicone mat for when we roll them out so that we don't have to dirty up anything else. I like to try to stay as neat as I can. I enjoy, though, I feel very accomplished when I make things homemade and I make things right from our homestead. We're going to put our bowl, or our dough, in our oil bowl, and we're just going to cover it up with some plastic wrap. And I'll see you in a little while. All right, friends, we're going to get our beef going, and then we're going to start making these noodles. This is beef from the free beef we got from our Fetch app. I know I keep saying that, but I mean, there's nothing to it, and I just hate for people not to be earning that money for free. There's all kinds of things you can pick too. It doesn't have to be groceries. That's just what I choose to pick because I like getting free food. So anyways, I mean, it's a free app. You just scan your receipts and get points, and they add up. I get about $100 a year and free groceries, and that, if it's free, it's for me, guys. We're going to get this browning, and we're going to add some of our homegrown green peppers to it so that we have a little some of our garden peppers here. Let's see, I may have to kind of chop some of these off. You know, yeah, that's a little too much. There we go. Kind of break some of those off and throw them in. We'll have enough for another batch with something else, but I love using these peppers. out from the garden. I like using anything that we can grow here on the homestead or, make for pennies. And pasta is one of those things you can make for pennies. While this is cooking, we're going to move over here to our pasta. We're just going to kind of turn this on a low heat and get this all going. Season it up a little bit. Some garlic and maybe a little salt and pepper. Nothing major. Just use a little bit of our seasoned salt. Just a tad. All right. We're going to get that browning over here and we're going to get on this pasta. All right, friends. Wayne bought me this pasta maker, a year or two ago, and I absolutely love it. You just fit the attachment on your KitchenAid. It's not a KitchenAid brand. I wanted to think it was around $100. Nothing crazy, but it wasn't cheap either. He got it for me because he said, if you're really serious about making pasta, I will get it for you. That way you can make our pasta, because he said it is amazing. Anyways, we're going to get started cutting this pasta. And, well, first we're going to make our pasta sheets. And to do that, we need to cut this a little bit in smaller pieces. I'm going to show you. This is way too big to go through our pasta machine, so we're going to make it in thirds or fourths here. And we're going to turn this on. And this needs to be as big as it can be to start. Then we just start running our pasta through it. Each time, you want to make sure it's floured well, because it will stick. And then just keep running it through. And I'll do like 2 thinnesses per time, because I don't know, I'm kind of OCD, and I think it's kind of silly to do it, move it one little tiny amount. So I do usually do 2 per. And then I'll just keep doing it till it's the thinness level I want. And then we do it really good with flour, and we will run it through our cutter. Let's try this again. Sometimes if the dough is a little sticky, because it will stick to your rollers in there, you just want to flour it up really good. That's what we're going to do here, and just run it back through our machine. Okay. Sometimes I'll do this 2 or 3 times just till I get the noodle to look really smooth like this. You want your dough to look really soft and smooth. And now I see some stuff in here. More of that dough kind of went haywire a while ago. All right. I'm just going to cut our pasta. Super, super simple. Well, let's lay this over here to dry. All right, friends, we're going to finish this sauce and get these noodles drained and all of it mixed together. All right, we've got our home canned sauce here. We're going to dump that in. All from herbs from our garden and stuff. We're going to get that dumped in and let that all simmer together. And we're going to get our noodles drained and added to this. All right. Mix that in. We're just going to let that all cook together. Those noodles will suck up some of that juice and it's going to be delicious. Okay, we're going to let that simmer and we're going to get on our rolls. They've already doubled in size. All right, friends, we are going to get started. Oh my gosh, this dough is so beautiful. On our garlic knots. From the recipe, it said that we needed to cut these in little sections and roll them in logs and then tie them in a knot. That's kind of the way I understood it anyways. Roll these out into ropes, tie them in a knot, kind of like so. And then we're going to top them with some butter and herbs and garlic. I'm going to get our pan over here that we're going to use. Spray this, and we're going to go ahead and start putting our knots so they can rise and stuff in here. That one's a little baby one. And get to make them. This dough is so soft. So soft. Got our oven preheating to 350. And like I said, we're going to make a butter herb mixture to go over the top of these knots. I think they're going to be delicious. They're homemade pasta. And this meal cost literal pennies, guys. Pennies. So I know I got the meat for free, but and you could substitute that with pork or whatever. This there's so many ways. I raised kids that were hungry teenagers, and let me tell you, we knew how to eat cheap. All right, this last one. I wore my kids out with crock pot chicken thighs and legs. All right, now we're going to get our butter and herb mixture mixed up. All right, friends, I melted a little goat butter, and we're going to add some homegrown parsley. I just dried some of this the other day because I was almost out. I need to really stay vigilant on my herb drying. And some garlic. We're going to mix all that together, and then we're going to top our garlic knots with it. Smells so good. I love garlic anything though. I just used our same bowl that we had our bread rising in. So I hate to dirty dishes. I'm just gonna butter each one with our yummy sauce. And as soon as our oven gets up to temperature, we're gonna get them in there baking. I'm going to use every drop of this too, because I do not want to waste any of these wonderful herbs or any of this yummy goat butter. I'm so ready to milk again. I'm ready for fall. I'm ready for my girls to have their babies. And for us to have all that yummy milk in the fridge. I miss it. Okay. Now, as soon as our oven's up to temperature, we're going to pop these in. Our garlic knots turned out absolutely gorgeous. They're huge. But they smell, I can't wait to dig into these. Smell so good. I should have made the dough balls a little bit smaller, but you live and you learn. They are gorgeous. Our pasta smells amazing. Let me bring you closer to it. And we're gonna have a yummy, cheap, homegrown meal tonight. All right, friends, we got our pasta made, and with our homemade pasta sauce and our homemade garlic knots, which smell amazing. I can't wait to eat. We're gonna have this afternoon for our meal for the evening. We call it our evening meal. We don't eat supper, but we eat late afternoon. And it's gonna be divine, and it just cost us pennies to make this meal. So anyways, I'm gonna post the recipes in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe our videos and help our channel grow. Thank you again. Until next time, friends. Goodbye.